used to sit during Basant Panchami. Only thing he was sitting just this side of the pillar here. And we used to be here about 40 people. On the first Basant in 1966, I attended. 40 approximately, including Babuji Maharaj. I used to be seated about 6 feet in front, 4.5, 5 meters. And we had a small tent. You will see in the other place where we have Babuji's house painted. It was all bricks laid edge on in a whalebone or fishbone, whalebone pattern, and eminently uncomfortable to the bottom because it was cold from below. We had no carpets, just these cotton darries. And today we are sitting in this beautiful Babuji Memorial Hall, which can seat at least 3,000 people on Persian carpets, as you can see. So the contrast between then and now is between simplicity and opulence, between bearable discomfort and unbearable luxury. We never had chairs for Basant. Now even for Satsang we have chairs. I know old people of even 80 years old used to come and sit with their lathi, staff. There was one Mr. Bhairav Prasad Srivastav from Lakhimpur Keri, very old man. He was something like, say, 14, 15 years my senior. And he used to grunt and, come with that lathi in typical UP style. And he was a very devoted person to Babuji Maharaj. And holding on to the lathi, he would just sit down, make himself comfortable. And understandably, though annoyingly, he often went to sleep during the meditation. Because when I'm talking of 64, 66, I was about, 39 years old. He must have been already past 55, 56, 57. And in those people who live in the villages of Uttar Pradesh and work hard, people age rather fast. They become old before that time. So we had, when I joined the mission, the average age of the Abhyasis was, let us say, 65. Today it is around, I think, 40, 42. And it's going down because we are getting a lot of young people into the mission all over the world. In fact, today you see more young people than old people. This is a reverse situation to the demographic situation of India, where the old are outbeating the young. And it is said that by 2020 or something, our population would have aged considerably. And how to and what to do with the old might become a social problem. Already in India, we have the phenomena, little by little, creeping in of old age homes. Some lush, opulent, 20,000 rupees a month. Some very simple, 3,000 rupees a month. But it has begun. The inroads of a Western system of not looking after the old but pretending to look after them by paying a lot of money so that you don't have to keep them at home and love them and look, It's very convenient. And they satisfy their conscience by saying, I am spending 20,000 rupees a month on my dad. Oh, so much. And people are happy. We are bringing to our old people, or rather the rest of the world seems to be doing it already, we are going to do it. We are satisfying ourselves by spending money in Tirupati, 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs. Money which you cannot keep at home because there's a possibility of an income tax raid. So they go and put it into the Lord's hundi, at least He will protect us. Same attitude we are getting to, play with the lives of our elders, spend a lot of money, put them away. And we salvage our conscience. God is great, parents are great. God is forgiving, parents will forgive. They have always loved us. Only difference is God will never die, parents will. Oh, but we will think of that when we come to that. Let us cross the bridge when we come to it. That sort of attitude. Few are the families where elder people are tolerated today. Very few where they are loved. I know half a dozen families. I'm happy to say mine is one. My son came back from the USA to look after me, and I'm happy. There was another family, one of my uncles, income tax officer. He had a mother who at the age of 74 lay wrapped up in a sari in a corner like a bundle of clothes for the washerman. I have never seen her sitting up or talking. She was always curled up. And the daughter-in-law of the house used to awaken her sometime and feed her and, do whatever else had to be done. So this is the way Indian life is being changed, getting slowly changed, all because I would say the economic capacity has come into the hands of the children where they can conveniently put away their parents, old parents, without suffering much loss of, shall we say, spending power. You see, prosperity in India was never looked upon with favor. Because money is the root of all evil, says one of our proverbs. And we see it happening. This is no criticism. You see, perhaps historically it was bound to happen. According to the predictions of the Yugas, Kali Yuga is going to get worse and worse. Now at least children pay for their parents to go to old age homes. Maybe in future they will just throw them out and say, find your way, Dad. I don't know. We hope not, we pray not. But you see, when there is a change in the human heart, and as we discussed the other day, when children say, well, I didn't want to be born, I owe the old man nothing. See, what did he ever give me? And when this sort of things becomes, instead of an individual heart, but the heart of a whole nation, a whole society, and it becomes the in thing, the done thing, there is no more even that twinge of conscience, what have I done? See? It now becomes routine, and a friend will say, oh, I have my dad at home. He says, why don't you put the old man in an old age home? There's one, exit 14, which I'm told it's very good, and it's hardly 50 miles, you can go and see them whenever you want. And it's fairly cheap, $300 a month per person. Friends suggest. That is in one society. In Europe it is less. People are still tolerated. Old people are still respected. And in India, of course, there has always been tolerance with love. People were loving their parents and also tolerating, because all said and done, the generation gaps are so big, culturally, traditionally, lifestyle-wise, that when you have 3 or 4 generations living together, it was not uncommon 50 years back to have the great-grandfather, the grandfather, the father and the son, married son with his children all living together. And each complaining about the other, each one having somebody to listen to because it was a big joint family. So there were complaints, there were minor quarrels, there were making ups, and there was also always somebody to listen to with compassion, with sympathy. So, the world went round and round as it's doing now, but much happier. Tolerance was not carried to such limits where it broke down and disrupted the family or divided the family. One more daughter-in-law, well, there are bound to be problems, It was an accepted fact right from the beginning. A daughter-in-law is a problem. Why? Because with the other daughter-in-law, she has to get on. Son-in-laws were no problem because they took the wives away. You see, I know in my grandfather's house when we went to Tanjore for our holidays, often we were 60 people in one house. At night we were all sleeping side by side on a veranda like this. Literally side by side. One group telling stories there, another group exchanging days' experiences here. One old man snoring. And somebody was always opening a door to go to the bathroom right through the night, taking one of those old hurricane lamps. The door would go, And everybody knew who was going, because it was like a sort of a timetable. So life went on very well. Minor pinpricks. So you see, prosperity, as Babuji said, again we come to the topic of illat, killat, zillat. Little less than you need, little less health than you should call good health, and permanent critics. The last thing is the only thing we have always had in life, wherever you are in this world. Whether you are a Chinaman or a Jap or an American or a German or a Hindu, it didn't matter. We have had that in full. But then, when the other two are there, good health and more money than we need, we brush off criticism. And the richer you are, the more easily you can brush off criticism. You can buy criticism. You can buy the critic. And instead of a critic, he is now a flatterer. He knows the language of, journalism, for instance. So the fellow who was writing against you, hurling stones at you all your life, he is now putting bouquets. Stones have become bouquets. So everything in the modern world conspires to this mischief of change of character, apparent but not real, outwardly but not inside. It's what we could call in India in the old days a currency-less coin which had no value. Counterfeit. So today's culture is by and large counterfeit culture. When we say come in, our heart says, why the hell did this fellow come today? Honey, Walter has come. Oh, for heaven's sake, not today, Danny. Hush, he's already at the door. Would you like something to eat? You hope he won't. Thank you for coming when he leaves, and you don't mean it at all. You say, at last, for heaven's sake. So all this hypocrisy, nothing but hiding the truth under apparent courtesy, apparent honesty, apparent truth, apparent friendliness, apparent brotherhood. So you see how much prosperity has destroyed. It has destroyed cultures of the West, of the middle of Europe, everywhere, and now it is destroying our culture here. Today in India there is this phenomenon of well-paid sons not respecting their parents who are not so well off. A man who was earning, let us say, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 rupees, thanks to the IT invasion and the IITs and all these high-tech institutions, the son starts a job on, say, 6 lakhs a year. And thank heavens, it's still a low proportion. They just say, oh, my dad never, Yeah, of course he's my dad. No, I love him, yeah. How can a son not love a father? But the way they talk, the way they, approach their father, the way they behave at home. Fortunately, mothers don't get this, because a mother is always a mother. She was not loved for what she had or what she knew. She was loved because she was a mother. Whether fathers are loved, for the image they had in their sons' minds. That is why we talk of the God that failed. Inevitably, every father, loses some value progressively after the son becomes 13 or 14. Slowly, there is a degradation, or shall we say, devaluation of the father in economic terms. I don't mean in terms of money. I'm using an economic term, devaluation, and the way the father shrinks in the mind of his son. This is visible in today's society very prominently. What was your dad? Oh, and nothing worth mentioning. With a shrug of the shoulders, a little sense of shame because you're not able to say he was the President of India or the Prime Minister, which would be better, or at least the governor of the state. And if you probe and say, oh, he was doing some farming in Punjab, in Rajasthan, wherever you see. So we are afraid, the children of today are afraid to talk of their parents, of what they were. The father has always been a symbol of a guide. He was never a symbol of wisdom or, plenty. I heard once an American girl sitting on the tabletop with her legs swinging happily, telling Babuji and me who were sitting in front of her, oh, my dad's a good provider. And to show this, to demonstrate, she went into the fridge and pulled out a 4-gallon cask of ice cream. 4 gallons. So you see, today's parents are only providers. We have become something like the man who feeds his cows, But at least the cow, I hope, is grateful to be fed and brought up and saved from the butcher. So here again, you see, mothers, God bless them, are safe. Because they were always humble, they were always loving, they were always sacrificing. Fathers make the mistake of expecting their sons to become what they were. No, why don't you go and become a bank clerk? I retired as a bank clerk. But Dad, I have come from the IIT. Or, I don't know, some engineering college, famous. Or IIM, Ahmedabad. And 3 weeks later, campus recruitment, he comes home and proudly announces, I've been selected for a job, 20 lakhs a month. No, mummy, only years. Only 1 year. And mummy, of course, is proud that her offspring has come up so well in life. But the father, he hears the knell of doom because he retired on 5,000 rupees a month. He says, son, if you want any money to make clothes, ask me, don't feel shy. No, Dad, you come with me to the best tailor. I'll make a suit for you. What will I do with a suit? I have retired. I am not going to use any suits anymore. No, you would have been better off, Dad, if you had used a suit all your life instead of going in that pajama and kurta to your interviews. This sort of thing is now absolutely in daily life. And then comes this very tragic phenomenon of elderly parents, 60, 70 years old, having to live alone. 5 prosperous sons living all over the world, 1 in Tokyo, 1 in Sydney, 1 in South Africa, in Brisbane, some place like, Johannesburg, 1 in New York, and 1 at the other side of the USA in LA. Faithfully, they all send $100 a month so that the parents get $500, which they never earned in his life. And every son thinks he is supporting his parents. Are your parents okay? Somebody asks, oh yeah, we send him money every month. And the parents are pining for love. They don't want bread and butter, they want love, you see. They want some sympathy when the wife is sick and the old father is not knowing what to do. He is bewildered. They give him a telephone next time when they come. Dad, why didn't you tell me? Yes, but son, I hesitate to ask. So they install a telephone. Next time they come, the father is sick because he caught a cold because he takes a cold bath every morning. Another son is angry. For heaven's sake, Dad, why the hell don't you ask me for a water boil? He says, no, I don't want to put you to unnecessary expense. This is not unnecessary expense. He installs a hot water boiler. And the only person who comes to visit is a daughter married off somewhere, Addis Ababa, another in Dubai. They come and weep over their parents. And that brings more consolation, happiness, and a momentary, bliss to the hearts of this old couple who are living alone, pining not for dollars, but for the modicum of love. Why I am saying all this is, Babuji always emphasized the need for love. He said, love is the only power in the world, in the cosmic world, in the divine world. Love opens all doors. There is no door which can be shut against love. And he says, even the master, love. Love the master until it is so much that he has to love you in return. But I said, Babuji, you said master loves everyone. That is when he told me master does not love everyone because he doesn't know everyone. It is like this lamp, Its light is everywhere. Behind, there is no light. So for that light, we have to be in the light. So similarly for the master's love, the love in the darkness is always there. For this brilliant love, pouring down upon us, energy, illumination, we have to be in it. Therefore, the need to become an abhyasi. Everybody is talking of why we need a master. This is the first requirement. Without this, there is no divine grace because you don't attract it. There may be heavy rain, but I am protected from it here. I don't get wet. So, abhyasi requires love. That love can come only when you are an abhyasi. As Babuji said, if you are present in Sunday satsang, I see you like people in a television screen. You are in front of me, he said. He didn't say, I see you. You are in front of me. If you are not, I may forget. I don't see you. Out of sight, out of mind. Not to be taken very seriously, but not to be taken flippantly also. It is very true for those to whom it applies. It doesn't exist for those to whom it does not apply. They are there always in His divine presence. So it is the need of the master that the disciple be there in his presence. Therefore, Babuji said, every disciple who wants to have quick progress must go and live with his master at least 1 week in a year. Even if their houses are only separated by one wall. It doesn't mean, of course, you go and stay in the cottage and share his bedroom and use his bathroom. It only means the atmosphere around him in the ashram. Because many people come here and complain, I don't get to see the old man. That means they are not feeling the atmosphere in the ashram. If they did, wherever they are within the confines of this ashram, they would be at peace. They would feel the atmosphere, they would progress, and such a question would not arise in their mind. Why I don't see? You understand? So this is vital to quiet the mind, to relax your body, wherever you are, whenever you are, even when you are walking. In constant remembrance, if you are walking, you won't feel you are walking, and you will be benefiting from the atmosphere, from the remembrance, rather than from your walk. The walk is only for the body, healthy legs, healthy hands. What about the heart? Of course, doctors will tell you it is very good for your cardiovascular system. Wonderful. But is it the cardiovascular system which is going to take me there? And any cardiovascular system, with however healthy it may be, is going to stop. Dub, 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 dub. What then of all the walks we have accumulated? Personally, I have been walking all my life from the age of 16 till 6 years ago. Not small walks. 5-6 miles for me was nothing. And when my uncle was alive, as I said, we used to walk 18-20 miles a day often. Just we wandered and wandered until we felt the pangs of hunger and we decided to come back home. We became too hungry, and in those days in Calcutta, 8 annas would feed us. So we went into a restaurant, had a couple of rasgullas and a cup of tea, 8 annas. And we were ready for another 12 miles walk. That is the sort of life to which we should aspire. Not go into empty, very expensive restaurants. In Madras, there are very high-class 5-star, 6-star hotels where you can pay 115, 120 rupees for a dosa. You come to my kitchen and eat one of my dosas, you will never go to that dosa again. For one thing, you order and wait half an hour. The dosa, when it comes, is cold. The ghee or whatever they use is congealed. But you have to pretend, being rich people who are spending a lot of money, you have to pretend, wow, what a dosa is. Our life is a whole series of pretenses, pretensions, lies. Like that story of the emperor's new clothes. When 2 crooks cheated an emperor, they said, Majesty, we will weave your coronation robe. And he threw open his khazana, his wealth. And they went on asking for silk and gold thread and silver thread and jewels to adorn it with. And every few days the emperor went and the looms were, being operated by them very, shall we say, actively. And they said, Majesty, it's too early to show you anything. And when he came on the day of his coronation to dress, he could see nothing. They told him, Majesty, anybody who tells lies will not be able to see this fabric. It has a device. Soothsayers can speak, can see. No, he didn't want, because then he would His Majesty, look at this. It's more, if you will pardon me for saying it, Majesty, more beautiful than your queen's complexion. Flattery, flattery, flattery. So they produced one something like 100 yards, dressed him in that cloak, pretended to put a diamond clip here, a gold clip here, ruby clip here, and had 4 boys carrying the train. And he went out. And everybody was clapping because by then everybody knew that if you are a liar, you wouldn't be able to see it. All the truth speakers, you see. Nobody saw it, but they couldn't say so until one child said, Daddy, Daddy, he's naked. So you see, innocence was able to tell the truth. Knowledge only makes you tell lies. Therefore, Babuji said, all knowledge is useless. It is useful only for 2 things, to earn your living in this world and to tell a lot of lies to do it. Wisdom is different. Knowledge does not mean anything to wisdom. Wisdom is the ability to judge a situation, prognose, and advise. A man looks up at the sky and says, oh, you shouldn't go today, there's going to be a thunderstorm. Yes, but it's clear. Well, I have said my say, no, you do what you like. And he goes, half an hour later, there's a thunder shower, the car is struck by lightning, what have you. So wisdom is something else. It knows nothing, but gives you the best advice. Whereas the knowledgeable people know everything, they cannot advise you. You have 3 job offers, take the one which offers you the most money. 3 months later he comes, I'm miserable. I have to work till 4 o'clock every morning and they treat me like a dog. Yes, but if you want money, you shouldn't think of how you are being treated. If he is sensible, he quits, finds some lesser paid job where he is happy, contented and calm. No heart attacks, no acidity. No. So Babuji used to say, you must always look to the right man for advice. I said, please elucidate. He said, well, if you take a rickshaw and go somewhere, and you ask the rickshaw man, where can I get the best food in this town? He will send you to some stinking place over a gutter, and he says, that's the best puri, it's cheap only 2 annas. You will fall sick. If you want to know where to eat, ask a Marwadi, because they know the best places. If you want to buy jewelry, ask a rich man, he knows. If you ask a beggar, he'll say, jewelry, that shop there, they have earrings for 4 annas and nose rings for 8 annas. Copper. This man wants it for his daughter's wedding. So this is another great secret, you see, that just because he is a friend, he need not be able to give you the right advice. No, we don't believe a man who knows how to advise you, because I don't know him, for heaven's sake. He may cheat me, he may misguide me. So we prefer a friend who knows nothing to the wise man who knows everything. Because this man is a friend, that man is not a friend, not yet a friend. Babuji said, beware of friendship. Because friendship is like tying another man to yourself when you are going swimming. Both of you will drown. He was totally against friendship. But we die for friendship. First complaint that people make after 6 months of abhyas, sir, I'm losing my old friends. I had so many friends, they used to call me up every day. I said, what is your loss? No, but I feel, that in no time at all, I have nobody else. I said, you have the master? No, of course, we all have the master. But what about friends? Why do you ask? Sir, all this and heaven too. That's what Christianity says, all this and heaven too. I said, no, reverse it. Heaven and perhaps all this too. No, but you are telling this after we are into this, quicksand of Sahaj Marg. One man used this word, sir, I am half gone and now you are telling me. I said, no, even 6 stout men with ropes cannot pull you out. But if you just look up and pray, you will find you are not there but here. No, but soon it is going to cover my mouth, I won't be able to say the prayer. But by now you could have said the prayer instead of wasting your time and say, I cannot say the prayer. Isn't it? No wisdom, even at the moment of death. We have this funny system of the Karna mantra, the mantra which the priest whispers into your ear after you are dead. Because it will reach God and somehow He will come to your rescue and put Yama away and take your hand and guide you to heaven. So we name our children after gods and goddesses. Govinda, Parthasarathi, Krishna, Because in his dying breath he will say, Krishna, come here. Krishna will come. Parthasarathi, come here. Krishna will come because he is also Parthasarathi. On such crude beliefs, superstition, our life is founded. It is the same with all religions. James, John, Michael, Mark, name it, you have it. It's the same with the Judaic religion. Amos, Joseph, isn't it? And every third girl is Esther. So which religion, which God, who's going to save us? Sahaj Mark says, there is no God except the Guru. I said, if you were a Christian, you would be crucified for blasphemy. He said, there is no blasphemy. God knows it is the truth. Because to reach him, you have to have a Guru who will take you to him. And that Guru must have already been to him, must be acquainted with him, so that he can take you by hand and say, divinity, I have brought him to you, and push you at his feet and say, now be happy. So Babuji said, find one who can guide you to him. And such a person you tie to yourself with ropes of steel. Not because he may escape, but because you may be tempted to run away. Everybody thinks, I tie my master to myself so that he may not. He doesn't want to escape. You have to tie yourself to him so that you don't do something foolish and try to escape. That again is for our own security, for our safety, for our permanent association with the Guru, so that we reach him. And there's the danger, when Babuji says, now my son, my work with you is over. If you think, now I don't need the master, like the snake and ladder from 99 to 6. It happened in the case of one venerable old gentleman to whom Babuji said, I have put you in touch with God. You don't need me anymore. Because even in the presence of divinity, without the master, you are nowhere, because he is part of that divine presence. In the kingdom of God, there are all the people who have come up to him. And how can you renounce somebody? Now you are part of that audience, presence, assembly, whatever you may like to call it. The biggest mistake, the biggest danger comes at the end, not in the beginning. In the beginning, you can leave and come back again. It's like a man starting a business at 24, losing, starting another company, losing, starting a third company and earning $1 million. But if you do it at 66, you have nowhere to go. You have no energy, you have no courage, you have no hope. So don't worry about mistakes in the beginning, but be very sure that you don't make these tragic mistakes at the end. I have reached, he himself has certified, I don't need him anymore. Take off the pictures of Babuji Maharaj, and let us build a nice, with the multi-religion, what do they say, alternate religions, one Hindu temple here, one Islamic thing here, one Judaic one totem taught there, totem pole. Let me now be the Guru. Behold, come unto me so that I shall take you unto heaven. And the master weeps. He says, I made a mistake in telling this man. It is like a rich man telling his son, my son, you are worth $28 million. The son starts, chasing so-called happiness, so-called pleasure, and in no time at all his $28 million has vanished, and the father's peace of mind is gone, his health is gone, he has a heart attack. So in spirituality, that knowledge which must never be given is the knowledge about the progress of the Abhyasi. Therefore, the preceptors are cautioned against telling the Abhyasi his condition. It's not relevant. It's like a passenger in a train asking, where are we? It doesn't matter to you so long as the train is moving. It's like a passenger asking in an aeroplane, where are we? So I once told an Abhyasi, it doesn't matter where you are, it only matters that you land safely. Why do you say that? I said, suppose you are flying to Delhi and the plane is going to crash. Whether it crashes just before Delhi or just after Madras, how does it affect? The purpose of the journey is to get to the destination. That is the same thing in Sahaj Marg. We are here to reach our goal, the goal of human life, return to our original home. See, so Sahaj Marg begins and ends with the Guru. He is there before we were born, he is there after we have been dead. And our main purpose is to see that this relationship that we build with him in this life lasts for infinity. That is the true achievement. Any questions?
I have one question, sir, that from the times of Babuji till today, things have changed materially, and perhaps it is going to change in the future. What is one thing that we should never lose in our focus?
The one thing we should never lose is the hand of the master. Metaphorically speaking, I am always holding his hand. And what I think is always true in reality. If I lose sight of that, Gaela. You see, Babuji warned us, Abhyasis. He said, the Guru is so loving, kind, generous, compassionate, merciful, that once he takes hold of a Abhyasi,